My economic plan in action is Bidenomics. Since I took office, we've attracted over $500 billion in private investment in American manufacturing and clean energy. That's what's been attractive to engage in these issues. Instead of exporting jobs, used to be find the cheapest market in the world, send the job overseas and bring the product back. Not on my watch. What here we're creating jobs in America, and we're exporting American products.
All right, that was President Biden making a speech in Philadelphia today, touting his administration's efforts to create union jobs through what he calls Bidenomics. Here to discuss the speech and the state of the U.S. economy is former senior economic advisor for the Trump administration and author of Trumponomics, Stephen Moore. Stephen, let me throw in this because for some reason the president didn't mention this, is June home sales reported today at the slowest pace in 14 years. Okay, he didn't tell you that. And the leading economic indicators down, I believe, 15 months in a row, and we haven't seen that happen since the Great Recession back 2007, 2008. For some reason, again, he didn't mention that, so we'll put that in a fuller context. So you tell us how things are going.
Well, the other thing that he didn't mention is that although we do have more jobs, and I'll give the Biden administration some credit for that, although, as you guys know, 95% of those jobs were just jobs that we had before under Trump that had closed down because of COVID, and now they're back, and he's claiming the credit for those jobs. But more importantly, I think the killer for Joe Biden right now is that the average family has lost somewhere in the neighborhood of $4,000 in purchasing power. In other words, they've become poorer under Biden in the 30 or so months that he has been in office. Now, again, there's some good news on inflation. It came down last week. We saw some pretty good numbers. But did you guys know that prices today for everything that you buy, whether it's milk, whether it's beef, whether it's groceries, whether it's going to the gas pump, whether it's buying an airline ticket, everything is on average 15.5% more expensive. That's like a 15.5% sales tax you're paying. And even though the inflation rate has come down, you're still paying month after month those higher prices.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Stephen, President Biden seems to think Bidenomics is a good thing. I'm sure we're going to hear a lot more about all the quote-unquote wonderful things he did as we head towards the 2024 election. But in your expert opinion, how would you describe Bidenomics?
Well, Bidenomics is massive borrowing on a scale that we've never seen before in this country. It's an agenda of kind of a radical redistribution of wealth and income. And so, in other words, what we tried to do under Trump is create wealth and create investment. They're trying to redistribute it. Those numbers that Joe Biden gave about how much investment is going on, guess who's paying for that?
Yep.
You and me. It's Uncle Sam. It's government investment. Government doesn't invest. It just wastes money on things like Solyndra. So, I think we have a C- economy right now. There are jobs out there, but they're not paying what they used to pay. And I'm with the 70% of Americans who say the economy is headed in the wrong direction.
Yeah, I live down in Washington, and I think you're down in that area as well. And the west side of the Capitol building, it's all under construction. They're doing some stuff there. The Treasury building, there's all kinds of construction going on. And I look at that and I think, how many billions of dollars are you and I paying for that?
Yes. Great point. And by the way, do you know, just a kind of a quiz question for you. If you look over the last 6 months, since the start of 2023, do you know what sector of the economy has been the biggest employer, hired the most workers?
Leisure and hospitality?
No.
Government?
Not healthcare. Government.
Good.
Government.
Yeah.
Yes. Government is our biggest employer. We're creating jobs, but we're creating jobs in the government sector, not in the productive private sector. By the way, the only way you can have a government job is to have somebody like you and me in the private sector who are supporting that job with their tax dollars. Right. So they're fake jobs. And so, look, this is not a terrible economy. It's a C- economy. I pray every night that it doesn't get worse. But with these policies of higher taxes, more regulation, not promoting American energy, not getting control of our border, where's the growth going to come from?
Yeah, and I looked up how much inflation it was since the start of the Biden administration. You just mentioned 15.5, and these numbers can be different. I found 18.3% higher.
Wow.
Well, it depends on how you It depends on how you measure them.
Yeah.
I was trying to be conservative, but I've heard some people say, and by the way, when you look at the median price of things that you have to buy, your groceries,
Yes, that's
your
even
gasoline,
higher.
those are up closer to 20%.
Yeah, and the point being, which you made, is that we're not going back to what it was.
Exactly.
So if you're 18% higher than what was it 2 years ago, then you're starting there. So whatever goes on top of that, the pace may have come down, but you're still paying that much more.
Yeah, so Joe Biden said the other day in one of his speeches, he said, I'm lowering prices. No, he's not. The prices aren't going down. They're still going up by 3 to 3.5 to 4% per month. So you've got that as a permanent feature. Now, what I'd love to see is starting to see wages and income for the workers going up by faster than that. Last month they did, but just by a teeny amount. That doesn't make up for the last 29 months. 21 of the last 24 months, inflation has been faster than wage growth of workers.
Yeah. Stephen, before we let you go, do you think that a recession still could come, or do you think we're kind of through that potential?
Well, I've been one of these people who says that that a recession is not inevitable. Remember, at the beginning of the year, everybody all the time said, "Oh, there's going to be a recession." I never said that. I'm rooting for the American economy, not against it. We have a very resilient private sector and great businesses in this country. So I'm going to say I'm praying that we don't have a recession. I don't think it's inevitable. I'd like to see Biden move more to the policies that work. And the most important thing Biden could do right now is cut government spending.
Yeah, and by the way, the reason I don't think we're going to have one is if we have a negative print. If we have a negative quarter, they'll lower interest rates to get the economy going, even though it would be premature.
Yeah, I don't want the Fed to kill off the economy either. This quarter, we're probably going to have 2% growth, so that's a pretty decent number. But I do worry about the second half of the year.
Yeah.
Well, Stephen Moore, I am very impressed and appreciate positive thinking. So I will
And
hope
she got
for
it
that
right,
as well.
by the way.
I did, and I
government
got
hire.
the quiz correct. All right, Stephen Moore, great
Well,
to have you.
If Trump were president, we'd be talking about 3-4%. The economy would be booming today. All we had to do was keep with those policies. That Trump had.
Okay, we don't know that, but because it wasn't that before, right?
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
All right, Stephen Moore, thank you. Appreciate it.